Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the movie of the Mummy franchise. Specifically, the end of the 90s, mid 2000s one, sorta. Before Universal decided to reboot it for their biggest success of the Dark Universe. Wink, wink. Anyway, for today we are on The Mummy Returns from 2001. Still directed by Stephen Sommers, still starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hanna, and introducing a new character which will spawn his own movie series, the Scorpion King, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Unfortunately, this movie, since it was done in 2000, in the early 2000, it felt victim, aside from the laughable script because it's kind of the same as the previous movie, of still bad CGI, as you will see later. I'll tell more technical details later. For now, start right before the logo of Universal. In two, one, click. For budget purposes, it costed 98 millions and it made 433 million, so it still broke even. I mean, it's still based on a popular monster movie franchise, so kind of makes sense. Also, yeah, just for technical details, Pixy is joining us here today.
Hello.
So, funny, Pixie, the last time you also were on a horror sort of film movie.
The planet exploded.
Last time I was what?
With the Never-Ending Story, which was one of our Halloween
Oh, yeah.
themes.
That was good.
Anyway, we start with a flashback telling the story about our villain, technically of the day, the Scorpion King himself. Which, when we'll get to the eventually to the Scorpion King movie, will be retconned, sort of.
Which is odd because didn't Sommers he didn't direct? I know he didn't direct that one, but didn't he produce that one?
I think so.
Was that still under Universal as well?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
That's
They
even
tried.
weirder.
Basically, the Scorpion King was Universal trying for it to be its new major entry in the pantheon of classic monster movies. But it didn't work. I still kind of a guilty pleasure, at least the first movie to me, because it reminds me of the classic swords and sandals type of movie. We in Italy call them peplum. Yeah.
Attack.
In case you're wondering, Lord of the Rings was about to be released in a couple of months, I think.
Yeah,
or it was already released.
That came out. This came out in May 2001.
Lord of the Rings then started, I think, in 2000, like January.
Lord of the Rings was December 2001.
December. All right then.
Behold, behold the guy who would become one of the biggest superstars of modern Hollywood.
I don't know. I kind of like also the costume design and weapon and shield design. I kind of like. Anyway, for such an apparently big, mighty army, the Scorpion King suffered his first major defeat, and apparently this wrecked him entirely. I don't know why.
Ego, I guess.
If you had a big ego and you lost a battle, but it didn't even show us he was losing the battle. He's just like,
he just retreated like pussy.
By the way,
it's like Monty Python. Run away, run away.
Another thing. This film was scored by Alan Silvestri, not Jerry Goldsmith from the last movie, because I think at this point Goldsmith was suffering from his cancer, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, well, since we're operating on Egyptian mythology, instead of making a deal with the devil, right now instead the Scorpion King will make a deal with, I guess, the equivalent, the god, the jackal god, Anubis.
And did we mention that the Scorpion King is Filipino?
Well, Samoan, but
oh,
I think Samoan anyway. If I'm wrong, then well, I'm wrong.
Dwayne, I know you're hungry, but come on, man.
Of course, I'm hungry, Tio.
But eating a scorpion, come on. You're not Ozzy Osbourne.
Don't worry, it was an animatronic scorpion.
Oh no, a horrible CGI oasis.
Yeah, that's not a very pretty looking oasis.
Was Stephen Sommers ever good with CGI?
I'm sure. Speaking of CGI, hi Scooby-Doo monsters.
Oh my god, you're right. Ah.
And before you say, oh, it was
Uh.
2001, CG was never gonna look good back then. Lord of the
They-
Rings.
Reminder for your audience, I'm in the group, I'm the one with the most tolerable taste of CGI, but even I can see when one is bad.
Also, when did wasn't it the 90s when when did Jurassic Park come out? The first movie?
1993.
Yeah.
Yeah, that aged better than this, I think.
And that was from Universal too.
I guess Anubis was kind of a dick because he cut off the deal almost immediately.
Well, he's the dark god. I don't imagine he'd be a nice fellow.
That's also the problem. It's similar to Hades with the Greek mythology. For some reason, people treat Anubi like he was the devil equivalent, but just like with Hades, he was just a guy with a shitty job.
He looks evil though. That's why. That's
But
the entire philosophy around this.
That's also doggies because the jackal is just a poor skinny dog. So
Funnily enough, though, this was the last Bobby film Rachel Weisz was
hi
in.
Brandon. Yeah. For the Tomb of Emperor Dragon, they did a lot of casting changes. Yes, Brandon. I know you want to be the new Indiana Jones, but
It's
it's
kind
not
of-
working.
It's kind of weird. Like, he was once a superstar, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm kind of, against it. Like for some reason, at some point, the internet went immensely wild against Brendan Fraser, and I kind of didn't like that. Like,
I
I
didn't
understand
either.
that
I
this
always
guy,
liked his
I understand that this guy starred in a lot of bad movies, but I kind of have a soft spot for him.
Yeah, I always liked his acting.
I mean, I don't think. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think he's that good of an actor, but well. I mean, he's got a like.
Dweebs,
I mean, he's
I
a
think
likable
he's got
guy.
charm.
have
Likable
you
guy. I just don't think he's that good
seen
an actor.
Have you seen Scrubs, Dweebs, the series?
No.
You should, and he plays a supporting characters in a couple of movies, in a couple of
I've seen a few
seasons.
episodes. It was fun.
Also, yeah, in case you're wondering, Brendan Fraser's and Rachel Weisz's characters had a kid off screen in the meantime. And this kid is, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. It's played by Freddie Both. Let me check.
Child actors.
Nope.
tend to not go
Okay.
very well.
The last thing he was in was some TV series called House of Anubis.
Starring this movie instead of doing another in the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh wow!
You better buddy.
There's the future Miss Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mrs. Daniel Craig, I should say. I need to get it right.
See how strong she is because she throws away snakes. Parenting, am I right?
Lol.
I wouldn't take a child on a trip like this.
I guess we couldn't either.
Did babysitters not exist in the 1930s?
I don't know. Oh. Well. Of course. Scorpions. Why did they have to be scorpions?
Well, the villain is the Scorpion King.
And the best part is that he's technically not his crypt properly, so...
I like how she was also careful not to step on any, and he just goes crunch.
He's Brendan Fraser, he doesn't give a fuck.
Funnily,
They're perfect for each other.
curiously enough, Summers' directing credits kind of went more scattered after this one. After this, he
Well-
did Van Helsing, G.I. Joe
Yeah,
the
I
Rise
think
of
we mentioned
Cobra
these
and
both.
not Thomas.
I think we mentioned these both in Van Helsing and the original Mummy, 1999 commentary. Stephen Sommers as a guy basically got worse and worse with each passing year.
Was Rise of Cobra that bad?
Yeah, and I'm not even a big GI Joe fan. Moldy cheese. Yeah, so we will never like. There are so many places you can hide, and you chose one of the most obvious ones. Just be
Not
glad that these mooks are the generic dumb idiot kind.
Not even like the most obvious one, but the most unsafe one.
Yeah, and unstable that too. Yeah, if it wasn't also for that guy, two of these guys remind me of the wet bandits from Home Alone. I mean, the guy with the bandana is a bit like Joe Pesci.
Well, by this point, he'd retired from acting, so... Oh yeah, there was also Mummy Returns
Yeah.
video
Plus indie.
games.
Movies that were showcased at Christmas.
Wait, this
Totally.
around Christmas time? I thought it was the summer.
Doesn't even
No,
make
I mean they were airing like movies like this on TV at Christmas.
Oh yeah.
it
around
doesn't
here.
make too much sense even for the release date on cinema because, for example, in my country, Lord of the Rings is mostly associated with Christmas because it was released around that time in my country. Same goes for Star Wars at this point. But this, not so much. Oh yeah, by the way, Rachel Weisz, get ready because Rachel Weisz, if through the entirety of this movie, start tripping balls for a very stupid reasons when we'll get to it. And of course, it uses the same fucking key of that book. I guess Egyptian built contraptions with the same key.
By the way, this film aired on Cartoon Network once.
Wait, what?
What?
Isn't Cartoon Network a subsidiary of Warner Bros. And not Universal?
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess Universal
Also,
don't
I can't
have a...
imagine the kiddies, wanting to sit down and watch this.
yeah.
Hey, Mummy, what was on Cartoon Network next? The Mummy!
Honey, just be glad it's not another rerun of Teen Titans Go. Come on.
But hey, Teen Titans Go is on for 36 straight hours afterwards. Although that's actually that joke's kind of dead now because apparently since Teen Titans Go came out, it's not been on Cartoon
movie.
Network nearly as much.
All right then.
It still was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
yeah,
it's amazing how I just copied what the other person did.
I mean, it's kind of it was also like this kind in the first movie, but this one, goes up the notch about having one-liners that have absolutely no context. Also, yeah, in case the Home Alone parallel wasn't enough, now the kid starts basically
I
toying
think
with the
I
guys.
think they were definitely trying to take a piece of that Home Alone pie.
Yeah, I mean, even
in
Jumanji did that,
in 2001.
but it's a bit late, mate.
It was still being watched all around the world.
And
Yeah,
it's still
and then-
famous, so...
And then the full film came out the
Whoop.
following year.
He's so clumsy.
I wouldn't stay around them.
Yeah,
You just need to be glad that he was wearing that, high boots. No shit.
Okay, wait,
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this cliche.
is he auditioning for Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
To be fair, both of them are Lucasfilm, technically even before the Disney buyout, so...
Suppose. A scorpion did it.
Oh. How about the music is acting for him?
Oh,
Yeah.
apparently, you're the kid actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had to he was a fan of the first film, and when he was on set, he even consulted the cast and crew about the first movie.
Oh, bless him.
But wait, shouldn't that have been Stephen Sommers' job to do that? So yeah, a kid had to help out because Sommers wouldn't.
His
Oh,
most
he's enthusiastic.
his most recent career choice was in an adaptation of The Pillars of the Earth in 2010. Of course, we need the trap equivalent again. So yeah.
It says run the fuck away.
Yeah, read later.
In a word.
Yeah, I mean, at least they wait. At least on Uncharted, they wait till they escape before they read stuff.
And even then, most of the time, they still get caught in traps. So
I love this. They reserved all of their water for a gigantic water trap.
they were just very creative.
Boy, kid. Yeah, just as I thought, you could probably just blow on it and it would fall over.
Well, it was dedicated anyway as a structure. So there you go.
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
I don't know, Knuckles.
And they're dead.
And of course, because we need to, it's similar to the first scene, the scene of the first movie. We need to recreate the fact that he's just like his mother. He just break things in order in a domino effect.
Okay, the main characters are dead, so that was the Mummy Returns.
Oops.
Oh no, wait, there they are.
No shit.
Seriously, how much water did they save up? And how did it not evaporate over time?
Apparently, it was connected to the river, so that's why it's flooding. But that's stupid.
Pixy, welcome to the world of Dr. Summers.
Not just that. It's classic archaeology logic. The traps will be overcomplicated just for the sake of them being spectacular.
Why not just have okay, it was ancient Egypt. Why not just have thousands of arrows with poison on them fire at anyone who dares intervene?
Sure.
Wah wah.
Meanwhile. Yeah, apparently this is what remained of Amunapra after the first movie, even though despite it just collapsing on top of itself instead of just vanishing. So I don't know what the fuck are we doing here.
We missed the spot.
Alright, I forgot which actor specifically this one is, but basically he's kind of like the second in command of his new organization.
Oh, so wait, something that gives life and something that takes life away. Wow, Pirates of the Caribbean 4 ripped this off.
You know also what the sad thing is? For some reason, the Book of Anubis actually shows up in the Mummy 2017, and there's absolutely no reason for it to be there. Because it's technically a reboot.
I've got a reason.
Fan service.
Sequel.
Yeah, sure, why not?
That's gonna happen.
Anyway, the guy with the mustache was actually foreshadowed kind of like in the first movie. It's actually the curator of a British museum, as Evelyn told the first review. So I'm guessing he was evil all along.
Hi.
Have you have found the keyhole of the world?
No, he's doomed us all.
Is this Bugs Bunny turning again another time for Albuquerque?
Wrong studio.
Damn it. Oh shit.
This is the Egyptian god's way of saying piss off.
I can't watch this part.
I
I'm
was
gonna
trying-
close my eyes.
You be thankful, Pix, that you were not in the King Kong 2005 commentary, because it was an exact part where I had the same reaction in that movie.
See, this is the part that stopped me watching these movies as a child. Just that. Just
Just
that.
let me know
I
when it's
hate,
over, okay?
Also,
Okay. I
no,
hate those things.
and I love how the guys in command are just not giving a fuck, because yeah, whatever. They're the mooks, they're expandable.
Also, same Shiroi.
Yeah.
Just also same now.
Yeah, we found him along with his scorpions.
That's a problem. The scarabs were in a complete different spot than what they actually found, so that scene was actually pointless when you think about it.
They were
Although,
just waiting for them.
although for the past decade now, every time I see Ancient Egypt, my first thought goes to the sequel to the Atmosphere DVD board game.
Which one?
The Khufu
Remember,
one.
I think it's the third game?
No. Khufu was the one that came out after the DVD Gatekeeper game.
Oh, okay.
I think they're actually. I think it's actually done now, Pixie, with
Yeah.
Upgrade Wibs.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
it's done.
Okay.
You can turn away from the
Basically,
bad
we
CGI
found-
later.
Basically, they found something in the meantime. The thing that we were looking for.
Oh.
Yeah.
They point it at the enemy, you dolts.
Don't worry. If you think we're too stupid, don't worry. They don't last long in the movie.
So who's the woman on the left?
Let me check. Patricia Velasquez, the actress. Let me check what else she did. Oh, she was in Arrested Development
Oh, was she?
as Marta Estrella. I don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
the character is.
the main character's first girlfriend after his.
Also, she was in an Asylum movie, a 4 ripoff. All right, now we're back in jolly old London.
1930s London, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he just got home.
Also, Get It is just like Indiana Jones now, he even has a head. Oh, not anymore.
And look at this. Like his hat hair is all slicked back, so it's not awful when he takes off.
He's like Jotaro in
That's
Star
not
Wars
how hat hair
Crusaders.
works.
It is how it works for Brendan Fraser.
I mean, it's already a miracle that the act actually came off instead of like video game characters that have them glued on top of their heads. Well, that's a boner killer. Oh well.
Yeah. Wait, it's only the second movie, and already they're commenting how predictable it is.
Well, of course. To be fair, Brendan Caesar had it worst with the Gauls. Remember, with Asterix.
I love their banter.
Mhm.
Don't you see? They really love each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ominous. And to be fair, though, at least we're not having complete black vehicles, so first that.
You can, you can see them.
Just perfect timing, Alex.
He said god dang, not god damn. Apparently can't even say dang anymore without, well, back in the 1930s anyway.
What a coinkydink.
Yeah, she said it herself.
You know, but Stephen, though, just because it is a coincidence, just because you point out it's one doesn't mean it's not still a coincidence.
Hey, Alex, how about you not?
Yeah, it's not a keyblade.
Leave it alone.
Put it off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's gonna touch it, ain't he?
God damn it.
Why would you even put it on?
Well, this bracelet apparently has 3D cinema incorporated.
I mean, he shouldn't have picked it up, but I think that thing just locked itself on his arm.
No, he put it like on his wrist.
Yeah, and then it locked up.
Okay. This is why you need a babysitter.
Yeah.
I know you're in the same house with him at this moment, but somebody needs
That's
to
even
supervise this
worse
child.
technically because you weren't paying attention.
Ah, Jade, stop this crazy thing!
Are you not hearing any of this, Mom and Dad?
Nope, apparently.
Worst parents ever.
And apparently, yeah, and also let's give another thing. Apparently, we'll manage to hide it
Turn
under his.
around, your kid's in trouble.
Sorry, leaves the power of boner is stronger.
Your kid's right.
You know, if you're terrible parents, use protection next time.
What did you say? It makes me feel like a what?
Hmm?
I couldn't hear because Teo was talking.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just what did you say? She
What,
said,
me
I hate
or-
when you do that. And then,
Makes
I didn't catch
makes
that.
me feel like I agree with you.
okay.
Yeah, and look at that. It was like, no, that's not how it works. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Alex manages to conceal his bracelet under the jacket. Oh, and here's Jonathan again, played
Yep.
once again by John Hanna.
What is he, wimpy?
Sure.
No, I'm not Mr. O'Connell. I'm
His younger brother, Chin. Oh yeah, by the way, in case you're wondering how he managed to get that scepter, never properly explained. There was a proline line before, but...
I don't know why, but when she showed up, it reminded me of the opening from Atlantis.
Oh, you mean when Milo gets recruited?
Yeah.
Hi there. It's a bit too little to be Nagini.
Hey, you're having a
Have you
knife to my throat isn't helping.
Have you seen Crimes of Grindelwald yet, Tio?
Not properly yet. I
Oh.
remember I spoiled myself, but I haven't seen it properly.
Sure.
Well, first don't, and two.
I know. Well, we'll get to it eventually, so don't worry.
That must be a very dull blade.
Yeah. It's a PG-13 blade. Look at that. She's not noticing the bulge on his left arm. Come on, man.
You are the worst mother I've ever seen.
Is this like the subplot of Amy in Sonic Adventure?
Oh, with the bird.
Yeah, no, yeah. Remember when Roger Van der Dime made the parody? The subplot was basically Amy trying to be a good mother.
Oh God.
You could barely notice your son putting that thing on his arm in the first place, even though all you had to do was turn around. I doubt you could protect your son with a sword.
Everyone's just showing up in their living room.
Yeah. Do you not lock your front door?
Anyway,
he looks like the main leader of Foo Fighters.
Especially
he's the one.
especially for a house where
Oh Jesus.
go ahead.
Basically, that guy, if you don't remember, is the leader of the Magi, played once again by Ode Fair.
No,
Apparently, was in some of the Resident.
but yeah, on the subject of them not locking their doors, you think they would, considering there's all these priceless artifacts here.
Then they'll probably just break a window.
Foreshadowing.
Well, her actress was training before the film was shot, so yeah.
Well, at least someone had the bright idea of actually using a fucking gun instead of going only melee. Sure, why not?
A Magi.
Remember, the Guardians were established to keep custody of Imhotep's grave. At the end of the first movie, basically they parted ways because, well, they did not have a job anymore. So.
No, it isn't.
So basically now it starts to be some sort of rivalry between Ardef and the second in command guy. We.
Oh, no.
What an idiot. Jeez.
Yeah, please, let me get my coat.
How did you manage to hide there?
Oh.
Jeez. Also, those were clearly stuntmen, but whatever. Like, at this point, you can actually pinpoint when it's a scene specifically designed for stuntmen to work. Okay. Wow. Now what?
Oh,
Yes,
the actor in this movie who plays a character named Lochnar.
Yeah.
He would later go on to be Killer Croc in Suicide Squad.
Joyful.
That was the one that won Best Makeup, apparently, at the Oscars.
Yeah. The Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad. I still cannot believe that.
How did it win that award over Star Trek Beyond?
The Oscars can be biased sometimes, Luis. And by sometimes I mean all the goddamn time.
But yeah, we do suck at our jobs.
Yeah, you guys really became mellow through the millennia.
You doomed
That's
us
a
all.
bummer. That's a bummer.
Yeah, we're all gonna die just because of this little kid. So basically, Brandon Fraser, Dave Grohl, and a couple of other people are going to try and save the world.
A couple of other people.
Hey, if I made an apocalypse bracelet, I think I would have put it in a more secure place.
Just saying.
Like anywhere other than there. Why not? But yeah, why not just bury it underground or something? That's how they kept the other artifacts hidden.
Why does he have hieroglyphs tattooed onto his face?
Because it's cool. Also, yeah, basically the reason why the curator wanted to resurrect the Regiment is because basically so they have someone to stand a chance in order to try to resurrect the Scorpion King and get in control of his army.
Then why didn't they just resurrect the Scorpion King?
No, that's the thing. The Scorpion King needs to be defeated first. He who defeats him can decide to either banish his army or take control of it, and that's what Imhotep wants to do.
Yeah, they're going to
How
entrust
did
the,
you?
they're
How
going to
did
entrust
you?
the safety of the kid to John
The
Hannah.
car. Yeah. Good luck with that. Oh yeah, it's time now to retcon something a bit about Brandon Fraser's origins. You don't remember the first movie? He was just a random soldier that deserted and then got in jail in Al Cairo. Here now instead they're saying that it's part of a prophecy or some shit. That's
That's always how it be.
that's just stupid. He didn't need this,
It's
honestly.
like it's about as unneeded here as it was in Pan.
Pan was still a fun movie, though.
It was.
But it was
Yeah.
it was cliche as fuck though.
At least I was enjoying myself with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed it too. So they're gonna take her
So
to
a
be
sacrifice?
sacrificed.
Again. Just like in the first
Maybe
movie.
maybe that's why she left the series. She was tired of being nearly sacrificed.
I mean, it can't be fun being typecast. Like,
And bless to you, sir. Also, in case you need to wonder, the curator is played by Alun Armstrong.
Alan Armstrong, what's he done?
Let me check what else he did importantly. Oh, he was in Aragon! I forgot that.
Oh.
That's a bummer.
So he was in the mediocre film and a piece of shit.
Jesus.
Where?
you're not a morning person, are you?
He just need coffee badly, Shiro.
I was sleeping for 3,000 years and I'm still tired.
Jesus fuck.
And out
Yes,
comes...
we get it.
Alright, I'm coming out. I'm trying to
Imhotep
sleep.
already. The problem it starts already because it's already in his second form instead of just being in the first one. I didn't get this one. I guess we wanted to speed things up.
I think it was also because
Can
it
you
was
see the
easier to animate,
subtitles?
maybe?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, we can see.
Oh, because it's not like earlier then.
No, we have subs.
Also, Imhotep is played once again by Arnold Vosloo. Vosloo, whatever it's pronounced. More foreshadowing.
So, the mummy's played by a South African.
Sure.
Oh, and
Dun dun dun.
he was in series 4 of 24.
Was he the main villain?
He was a villain. I'm not sure if he was the main one.
So he got probably tortured anyway.
And he was in a couple of those DC animated films. He was in Superman / Shazam: Return of Black Adam. Where he
Let
voiced
me guess,
Black
he
Adam.
played Black Adam. Of course, casting gag.
He was in
because
All-Star
Egyptian stuff.
Superman, where he voiced Bar-El.
Barel.
And Green Lantern
And Abin
Emerald
Sur in
Knights.
Green. Oh, interesting.
Oh, he was also in Young Justice.
Hmm.
Well, for one episode, but still. And the recent Voltron series. I've only seen the pilot so far.
You just got pranked.
Yeah, I think one major problem I have with the Stephen Sommers movie films, half of them are just boring exposition.
Yeah, even before you were when Ardef actually explained like in 10 seconds what the villain's plan was.
I love how she's trying to escape, but they were like, nope. Whoop.
I know, right? These one-liners. How did you do
Brendan
that? I
Fraser
don't
to the
know.
rescue!
Don't question it. He's the protagonist. He can do what he wants.
And now Dave Grohl with a machine gun.
At least someone's looking after the kid.
Yeah, I know, and I know it's not. I know it's not the actual Dave Grohl. He just looks like him. That's the best thing I can think of. Okay, I can't even remember the character's name.
how how do you manage to break your car's keys? I get it, it was 1930, but come on, man.
Those are some flimsy keys.
Keys
Couldn't
aren't
you
that
also
fancy.
couldn't you also put that key back in and use what's in there to turn it?
Possibly. This is
Agitation.
movie logic.
Yeah, I love he just docked and let his friends get shot.
Also, you could clearly see that two of those books were clearly just mannequins. We didn't even try to hide that.
It's called a meat shield, Dwibs.
How many bullets does that thing have?
Movie logic, infinite bottomless magazines. Oh yeah, since we need to do some more fan service from the first movie, let's bring back something what was reserved for the climax of it for some reason.
Yay, I've won the World Cup.
It's not the Champions League, Dweebs.
Destroy them.
Yeah, sure.
They're like made out of Play-Doh.
Where are you going?
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh.
She's trying to barricade the door, but
Yeah, but they don't use
Poorly.
doors.
Dweebs?
Oh,
Dweebs?
yeah?
Can people actually steal London buses?
No.
no.
No, I mean, is it something that's possibly achievable by night?
I don't know.
They're in London, so I guess they have night buses.
Also, how many stars would it count on the GTA scale?
2.
3?
2.
All right.
Well, yeah, I
I
think
mean-
that's the thing. There's only ever been one GTA game made based on London.
That's quite that's quite interesting considering Rockstar is Scottish, yes?
Rockstar North is Scottish. I mean, that's
Ah,
another thing. Why
okay.
did they make one based in Glasgow or something? Or Edinburgh?
They need to sell to the American audience, Dweebs.
I guess Americans don't like bagpipes. I don't know.
All right. I'll ask the American we have here, Pixie.
Yes.
Would you object to a GTA-like game based somewhere in the UK?
I'm sorry, I need to turn this down just a little bit. What'd you say?
Would you
A Grand
object?
Theft Auto game.
Would you object to a Grand Theft Auto game based in the UK?
No.
There you go then.
Also, like on the notion of like Americans hating bagpipes, my ancestry is Scottish, so I'm not the person to
Oh.
ask for that.
Ah. What a goinky dink.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Bobby will win in a boxing fight.
What do you know?
No, my shotgun.
Oh my god, that's a guy in a suit.
Yeah, it's clearly visible. Like whoever was, especially in editing this movie and handling the special effects, kind of failed a lot of times.
It's probably the most financially successful, incompetently made film series ever.
It's because just like the first movie, it's good as a popcorn movie. You would just detach your brain and enjoy the ride.
Maybe they thought that the action sequence would be too fast for you to notice.
I guess. Boy drove.
Get a taxi, you bastards.
Oh, jeez.
So here they are, wrecking up half of. Well, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, there could be a giant dust cloud covering the whole of London.
Don't fuck with Rachel Weisz. She will blow the shit out of you. Brandon, what are you doing? Ew. Jesus
Oh yeah,
fuck.
I love how Brandon Fraser's poking at something that's clearly just not there. Added on in post.
Not only that, but technically speaking, it did not had its eyes anyway. So, well,
Now it's
like-
something out of freaking Looney Tunes.
yeah, it's a good thing we're operating on Looney Tunes. Oh wait, it's actually Universal.
Oh my god, Brendan Fraser was actually in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yes, I remember that.
Wow,
think it was reason-
someone actually remembers that movie.
I
Yeah.
actually watched it in theaters, and I don't remember why.
you were one of the 5 people that did.
My family watched it in theaters, so that's at least 6.
Yay, we
Yeah,
thought of
yeah,
us.
The entire box office of that movie was the same 6 people seeing the film.
No, 6 people in my family. So there's like, if there's 5 others, then that's like 11?
Well, if Warner Brothers hadn't put it up against one of their other own big movies.
Almost risking my life in a bus accident makes me horny. Like, what the fuck, man?
We do have.
Near-death experiences will do that to people, I guess.
By the way,
Well,
we
I
do
guess-
have our own house. We don't need just.
I guess
think
it's a
it's-
raging boner for the moment.
I think it's more like they're showing how passionate they are for each other, you know?
And how
Yeah,
terrible
yeah.
as parents we are. Jesus fuck.
So basically, the hormones are so out of control. They felt it's their son. So does the son appear in?
Well, I mean, they basically will, like, it shows how devoted they are to each other and how
but
they care about each other.
But
Yeah.
they have
That's
a
nice,
child.
but again, if you knew it would have been terrible at parenting, again, next time use protection.
Maybe leave the child with a babysitter.
Yeah, that too. Also, yeah, the kid was kidnapped.
Does the son
so-
appear in Tomb of the
Oh, Yes, with a different actor. Okay, Pixie, I think you want to stay away from the movie for another couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. I mean, to be fair, even if the kid wasn't along with them, they'd probably pull the whole trope of, them finding out that they had a kid and kidnapping him anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
But still, leave the child with someone else.
Be responsible, for fuck's sake. Oh boy, here we go. Isn't it though some nice imagery?
Well, ancient Egypt's always one of the more
It
interesting
is.
ones. Well, that's the funniest thing. It's one of the most.
Andrew, because
Oh.
this is what children Cartoon Network wanted to see. Okay, you can come back, Pix.
Wasn't there something?
Okay.
Wasn't there something else that aired on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network that really shouldn't have been there?
I don't know.
What happened?
Mommy Lemon. That's the best thing I can tell you.
Huh?
She was snogging the rotting
French
corpse
French
of the
kissing.
mummy.
Oh God! Ew!
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that scene now.
I did
We
your
probably
favor,
shouldn't have
sweetie.
elaborated, but
Well, she asked.
To be fair, I asked it.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was you have no one to blame but yourself.
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just.
we
I'm
know,
s-
we know.
I'm
Yeah,
We
sad
know.
I remember it
we
now.
know. Back in Cairo.
In case you didn't watch the first movie. I feel compelled to tell you this because
Reasons.
raisins.
Because raisins.
Yes.
I don't like raisins.
Me
I don't
neither.
either.
Oh.
Nerd. Please stay away from the child. That's personal space, lady.
Are you
Charming.
sure? Are you sure about
Why would
that?
she do that?
Because she's evil, I guess.
No,
At least it's not the Book of Henry, is it?
yeah. No, they wouldn't slip poisonous snakes into your bed on purpose. They'll just do it by accident because they're such a clumsy lot. Honey, where did you put the poisonous snakes? Oh, in our son's bedroom. Ah, good. Nom 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 nom.
Alright, since now it's time to kind of show away a bit most of the comedy, it's time to kill the comic relief villain characters.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, who the fuck cares?
This chest must never be opened.
Sure. But before that, time for the kid to actually meet Imhotep's place. Again, using the disguise that he was using
Yeah,
in the first movie, which is a callback to the classic 30s movie.
Plus
so
we
might as well.
plus we can't afford to use the effects all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Why would you say the first part in Egyptian and then say it in English?
I think the intended effect is that he starts talking, but the kids knows his language, so he starts understanding progressively. I think that's what the effect they were coming from.
Okay, other than Tio, obviously. Do you guys have a language other than English that you know of?
Do we have a language that we
Do-
know of?
No, I mean, do you
Do you have a
speak-
second language?
Are you bilingual in any way?
Am I?
Yeah.
Very
Question.
little.
I'm not.
Me neither.
To be fair, other than English and my native language, the best thing I can come up with is just a little bit of French, and even
Well,
that is very rusty.
growing up in the southwestern United States, I had to learn Spanish like mandatorily growing up. And I'm also learning Japanese out of my own, like I want to learn Japanese.
Oh,
Also, yeah, more small establishment thing. If they don't find the place of the Scorpion Kid, rest in peace, the Scorpion King in time, the bracelet will kill Alex in some way. I don't know why. I guess it will inject poison into him or something.
oh, great! That's great, Pixie. So when we eventually do some Japanese only games for the channel, maybe you could help us out.
Japanese
Okay.
is hard.
Yeah, I'm not very far along.
Well,
Like,
by the time we get
I know.
there, it'll be
like I'm still learning kanji.
okay.
Oh, that.
The only kanji I know is when it says Crash Bandicoot.
I learned all of hiragana.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Ah.
and dead.
So the moral of the story is don't demand too much money, otherwise this will happen to you.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Somebody filled the chest with dry ice.
I don't think this is gonna go well.
Nope.
He looks like he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening
So-
the chest, you morons.
Also, remember, Dweebs, when was the first Raimi Spider-Man movie released?
2002.
Ah, actually later than this one, so I cannot call rip-off. So. It's raping time.
Again, no
Really?
effects.
Really? Did you have to say that?
He's just gonna take his soul. That's a completely different thing.
First, I'll take your soul. Then I'll take. Oh wait, there'll be nothing left of you. Never mind.
They kind of turn to dust, though.
Yeah. Well, no, remember what happened in the first movie? They get bone dry. Oh boy, this side character. I don't
Well,
like
we
him.
killed the villainous comic relief. Now we need
A new one.
Yeah, it's like when T.J. Miller's character died in Age of Extinction. They killed off the comic relief just to get another one later on.
This is Easy Buttons, played by Sean Parkes. Basically, he was in a couple of Doctor Who episodes, actually.
He was?
In the Satan Fit two-parter, actually.
I'll check.
Yeah. Also, apparently, he's also in the Lost in Space Netflix series.
I gotta say though, it's rare that whenever a black actor is in a movie, it's rare he's British from what I see.
Well, this movie already is British on its own, so they might as well went
British
through the extra.
British and American.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that, as you can imagine, this character does not have that much thickness in personality.
Yeah, Sean Parker's what's he been in? Oh, he was in Casualty. Twice. Oh yeah, I think he was the leader of the that group of people on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wah, wah. You had 12 tribes and you still sucked at your job. Also, Pet Falcon.
But the Assassin's Creed Egypt game wouldn't be for another 15 years.
That was an eagle, dweebs. It's a different bird.
It's a bird.
Thank you, Dweebs. Thanks for telling us that your ornithology skills are terrible.
That's aviasis.
So yeah, at least we have a sort of contingency in plans in case of the army of Anubis arises, I guess. But I'm sure that eventuality will never happen. It's an airship.
Sure they are. Oh, Jesus! He just... Wow, Brandon Fraser is a dick. I mean, just because he got a vehicle, he did like, I'm gonna kill you.
He's on a mission to find his son, Dweebs.
But that's the best vehicle he could find, mate. Be grateful, you bloody prick.
Yeah.
Besides, if you shoot him, who else is gonna... How else are you gonna try and save your son? You're gonna walk to Anubis.
I guess. Whimsy. Terrible green screen effects.
Yeah,
Jesus.
who did this green screen?
Let me check who was the guy. Two editors, Bob Daksei and Kelly Matsumoto. Production company Alphaville Films. I don't know who did special effects.
Was better than what? Was better than ILM's quote-unquote effects in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Yes, Tio?
And I was checking through Bob Daksei's, career to see what else did he edited, but not many movies that will have, comparable terrible green screens. But apparently he did work on a couple of recent, important movies, like Rampage, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, and actually also The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay. And then, well, again, yeah, I didn't notice the editing, so.
He's working right now on the Godzilla King of Monsters movie.
So I guess he got better at his job.
Yep. Yes, and yet you're still terrible parents.
At least they're actually worried about him now.
Yeah.
I mean, they were worried anyway. They were just kind of oblivious.
It's like that episode of Very Odd Parents where Timmy asks to having two parents that don't care about him.
Although, like, even like Timmy's parents were always quite questionable.
Yeah.
So
they defended depending on the episode. You get, for example, the episode where Timmy's dad barges in the room with the portable, pole that he uses to smash the door.
Are we there yet?
What it's called.
Are we there
Battering
yet?
ram?
no.
Yeah, battering ram. Thanks, Pixy.
No problem.
Jesus.
It was kind of amazing.
Sure, you did.
Yeah. So you shut up.
He's trying not to laugh. I love it.
Yeah, I can imagine it did require several takes.
Yeah.
And that was the best one they had.
We did 20 takes, and that was the best one.
I don't understand her like overwhelming lust for this guy. He's not even that hot.
Remember, since supposedly she's the reincarnation of the original Anaxuna Moon, and their entire story was based around their passionate, taboo love, because she was the wife of a pharaoh.
Right.
Literal toilet paper.
I just wanted to read. I'm still learning.
This is an impressive kind of filth.
You are an idiot.
He's just he's maybe a second in
tried.
command, but he's still a henchman.
Oh, why would you stick your face closer? Especially after you flushed it.
That's terrible. Also, this toilet is made of thin paper because apparently it was easy to rip off.
From an 8-year-old.
I mean, it's an old train toilet. I can't imagine they were that good.
We
Well, they're looking out for someone though. So, how did they know he's? Oh,
yeah.
does he fire his
Ooh.
You buffoons! You're both fired! But it wasn't us.
Well, at least we conveniently arrived where we needed to be, so.
Wait, we're halfway through already? Man.
Yeah, the pacing is actually relatively fast in this movie.
Surprisingly, considering we're only just over halfway through it.
You are the worst sneak I have ever seen. Yeah,
Not even time.
from the side, he looks like Bruce Payne from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Yeah, the guy who played Blue Lips.
Yeah.
I like how he's got an Organization 13 coat. Just randomly.
Well, too many universal not talks, otherwise you could ask these to be in the next Kingdom Hearts.
It'd be a lot like Port Royal, only in Egypt, not in the Caribbean.
Kinda. Could
Tio,
work. Yes, Lives?
one question.
Yes.
Where's the Rock?
Yeah, I was about to say. Where is
Yeah.
he?
It's not a good time to say that he's reserved for the climax of the movie.
I guess they could only pay for 15 minutes of The Rock.
But
Well,
believe me when I say,
but this was 2001. This was way before.
but believe
he
me
was a
when I say this,
superstar.
believe me when I say this,
He
Lives.
knows his worth.
When he will show up, you will not want to see him.
Oh, good.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyway, now Imhotep since we're in the perfect place, he wants to do a ritual so that this new incarnation of an Axonal Moon inherits the soul of the original. And we get some more foreshadowing. Well, in this case, more like a revelation. We're going straight Yu-Gi-Oh on this shit.
You can tell those masks are paper mache.
I kind of like them though. I kind of like the job that the costumist and the weapon and mask design did. You can tell that some of them are thin paper, but I still kind of like these designs.
Congratulations, you won.
Dun dun dun.
It's Rachel Weisz's previous self.
What a twist.
Again, we're going straight to Yu-Gi-Oh! They're reincarnations of her past elves who were in ancient Egypt.
And yeah, I was about to say Egyptian royalty.
And keep in mind, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually came later after this.
I think the franchise itself started a few years earlier.
And you can also tell the sound effects are like very fake.
The stock ones, yeah.
Because they don't look like they would have that sound.
It's very Jerry Bruckheimer-ish in that kind of way. Ooh.
She's like the femme fatale archetype.
Oh, I play Fire Emblem. I know that she can win because it's an axe against a spear. She can do the split at
I can
least.
do the split. You don't stand a chance. I'll be
Well,
right
I
back.
mean, that's painful.
God.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So you're doing anything after this?
Us?
No, the characters.
Oh.
Hmm?
Because you're wondering, the actor who plays the Pharaoh is the same who was for the first one. Again, interesting that he managed to maintain consistency, even though, for all accounts, we didn't need it. I'm guessing the fact that it was like a 2-year gap meant they did not have much problems with it. I think that's also one of the reasons that they ran into with Tomb of the Emperor Dragon, because there it was like a 7-year gap instead.
He just checked her out not so subtly.
Yeah. Duh. Yeah, and apparently, used for another retcon, apparently she was there when the whole shenanigans between Naxunamun and Imhotep happened. You'd think that these flashbacks would be triggered, would have been triggered by the events of the first movie because she was exposed to things that would have triggered that. But again, retcon, so we're just
Apparently, it's only
pretending.
happening now.
Yeah, we're just pretending that it didn't happen until now.
Hmm.
And dead.
His face.
Wee! What
Mhm.
the fuck were you doing? And here we go. That face. So I'm guessing that with these Imhotep's original goal from the first movie has been fulfilled. Who would have known? Guess we could have spared all the shenanigans that happened in that movie.
So, what did I miss?
And Exo the Moon has officially been resurrected. The original one.
Right. Is that The Rock or
Nope, it was still Imhotep. Because of course you had one.
does it though?
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's job in these movies to lampshade how absurd some of the plot points are.
Wasn't he in like one of them Journey to the Center of the Earth films?
Yes, and I did not like that.
Did you
Oddly enough, in his goofiness, he plays the role of the straight man wonderfully in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the
Like,
sequel?
yeah,
Did I?
No,
Tomb
no, no,
of the Emperor Dragon.
Oh.
no. I meant, I was asking you about Journey to the Center of the Earth. Did you see the sequel to it?
Wait, we made a sequel after that?
Yeah, and it starred The Rock.
Oh my god. Why?
So The Rock and Brandon Fraser were in the same movie. Then they went on to be in another series where the villain replaced the hero. What was he going to do? Shine a light at me?
I bet they had a lot of fun acting together on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
on
that.
set, yeah. We're in the desert, you buffoon. Yeah, I don't know. At times this movie has been fun, but other times I kind of wish tomorrow would come
it's
faster
a-
so I can watch How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Anyway, in case you're wondering, the actor who plays the second in command, it's the one that we mentioned before that became Killer Croc in Suicide Squad, I think. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's called, pardon the pronunciation, Adewale Akinoye Abaye, I think. I will ask Trova another day. Apparently, he was also in Congo and Ace Ventura: Where Nature Called. Apparently, it was in a lot of movies that I can recognize. Also, it was in For the Dark World.
Oh, well, yeah, the worst MCU movie.
That's sad.
well, that and Iron Man 2, but he wasn't in that one. So.
It's weird that Killer Croc is technically his last credited role so far. I guess he's gonna come back for the sequel. What a smart kid.
Meanwhile, on what's clearly a model shot. Yeah, that's the thing, though. I'll be honest, guys. Most often, I'm not really impressed with model shots because you can tell they're models.
They're fake as shit.
What
Yeah.
about the ones in Cuphead?
I haven't watched Cuphead.
It's a game,
Cuphead's not
Reeves.
it's a game.
I don't have an Xbox, so
It's on PC as well.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's
And
not-
it's
Although
hard.
Like, Dwibs isn't particularly, well, in his own words, great.
Don't
with
worry,
2D
don't worry,
platforming.
Reeves. I think
So-
Pedro already called that he's gonna play it for the channel
2.
sooner or later.
Oh, great.
Now 2.5D, that's another story, but just plain old 2D, no.
It is plain old 2D. So
That's why when we do the Mega Man X games, I'm doing X7 and X8 because they're 2.5D and 3D.
Cuphead's really fun if you've got someone else to play with, though, as well.
X7's case.
But it's also really hard to tell what's going on sometimes.
Yes.
and if you play in 2, the bosses actually become harder, so...
Look at all our green screen ads, men.
Yeah, like you mentioned before about the score being from Sylvester Reeves. Do you like it so far?
The what, sorry?
The score.
Unfortunately, I have to turn the volume down a bit, so I can't really hear it.
Basically, it's one of those movies that has a leitmotif that gets, repeated and remixed throughout the entire movie.
And that's common in some films. I mean, Alan
I like
Silvestri...
leitmotifs,
I mean,
personally.
Silvestri does that a lot in the Avengers.
Busted.
Game soundtracks tend to do it quite a lot.
Basically, Silvestri does that a lot in Avengers and to a lesser extent in Infinity War.
Well, that kind of makes sense because each character needs to have, his or her own leitmotif of their own. Anyway, it's time to recreate the scene of the first movie with the giant wall. So instead of sand, he's going to use water.
Sir, someone could just walk through it. It's water.
It's pretty powerful, though.
Water has a lot of force behind it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dweebs, it doesn't work like that. Otherwise, by the logic, people should have when a tsunami comes around.
Mhm. But it was a funny comment.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you, Dwibs.
Thanks. Run! Or fly!
That's also difficult to do.
Oh, come on, you didn't say, oh, hell no? Come on, it was pretty much a given.
Okay, the CGI from Sinbad was better than this.
Which year Sinbad came out?
Was it?
No,
I
wait,
forgot.
which year?
Which year?
I think it was like the early 2000s.
Still, yeah,
Sinbad
because
Legend. Is it Legend of the Seven Seas?
Yes.
yeah,
that one.
it was
Two-
one of the last
2000, 2003.
one of the
Yeah.
last 2D animated DreamWorks movie.
Hmm.
Honestly, I keep forgetting those ones exist. The only one I've seen was Spirit, and even then that was just kind of there.
Sinbad was
Yeah.
actually surprisingly good.
I liked it, but at the same time, I think it could have used a bit more to it. And it's
Did you-
still, I mean, in terms of content, because Sinbad is as a tale is one of the things that there's like a gajillion things you can take for.
Which
The
was,
animation for Sinbad was mesmerizing for me.
Even the villain, yeah, especially the villain,
which
but
is,
yeah, we'll
it's,
get
it's,
to it.
it's funny you mentioned that, guys, because Sinbad's reception was apparently kind of poor.
yeah.
Bad marketing, dweebs.
I mean, so was
I
Road
meant-
to El Dorado, but Road to El Dorado is brilliant.
I meant,
Mm.
I meant, I
Wasn't
meant,
Spirit
I didn't mean-
also
I didn't mean
like
just-
It was
a cult
DreamWorks.
classic?
It was
I
Dream. Go ahead.
didn't mean just.
We're all
box
trying to
off-
talk.
I didn't mean just box office. Critical reception was kind of bad.
Oh, well, yeah. People generally seemed to like Road to El Dorado, unless you're a critic.
But then again, it didn't help. It was against, in terms of box office, it didn't help. It was against Terminator 3, Legally Blonde 2, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, Finding Nemo and Hulk, and then the week after, Pirates of the Caribbean 1 came out. So
Jesus Christ.
Did you say Hook?
no, I didn't.
Oh,
Hulk.
I was about to say there's no way Hook was released around that time.
I meant Hulk. The
Wow.
one. The
I know,
angry
I
one.
misheard you. It's okay.
No shit.
Why did you stop flying?
The Nitro ended.
Ah.
Wow.
They'll be fine, I think.
Everybody's that Dave. Okay. It's a complete wreck. How could it do that?
Yeah, it was filled with gas. And we're not gonna we're not gonna get gas from the forest. And besides, it's a wreck. How are you gonna?
Hey, at least
Look at that face.
at least Easy didn't die like the pilot from the first movie.
How are you gonna hide that the whole time? Hmm?
No, I don't know.
So the bird is called Horus. Makes sense. The Eye of Horus.
Yeah.
and-
Meaningful name, Dweebs.
Not like Horace and Jasper.
Yeah, most of my knowledge of what little knowledge I have of ancient Egypt, funnily enough, I got from Atmosphere Khufu.
But Dweebs, the gods of Egypt is actually very informative on that.
Nah,
Look at that green screen.
It's sad when I get better knowledge of ancient Egypt from a freaking board game.
No, not the Falcon. He was the best character.
It's like that scene. You know what this is like?
What?
It's like that scene in Two Towers. Some guy comes along, you don't know his name, and then like barely 5 seconds after someone says aloud his name, he dies. But he was so but he was so meaningless that you don't care when he dies.
Wait. Who was the said character in the Two Towers?
Exactly.
No, Dweebs.
That-
Whatever.
That's that fight during the dark when
Oh, Ugluk and Grishnak. Okay.
that it's after the bit where Legolas
That's the thing
starts
with they
down
don't-
the stairs.
They don't even. Oh no, actually, it's in Return of the King, Dweebs.
I thought it was Two Towers.
No, Two Towers. Well, it's complicated. That scene actually happened in Two Towers in the book, kind of.
Oh, so the Romans tried to get the treasure.
Yeah, like, they foreshadowed this at the beginning. They said that Caesar tried to come here. But who will be responsible for doing these things to all these people?
The people living here, obviously, or who lived here.
Yeah, people. I think people. It's a bit of a stretch to use.
Well, it's like a Doctor or Doctor Who says sometimes. It depends on your definition of people.
Hello,
My word, it's a
little,
bunch of
little
heads.
lad.
Then one of them,
What the?
and then they took one of them and gave it the voice of Lenny Henry and hung him in a bus. Oh wait, wrong studio. Fuck.
He's British. He knows how to use a rifle.
But I'm
Okay,
not an
dude.
Anubis warrior.
How many times Jonathan needs to have blades on his neck in this movie?
He could consider it a new jewelry at this point.
Oh. Well,
You know,
so I think we ripped off Indiana Jones enough. Let's rip off Jurassic Park 2 instead. Now,
why would you rip off that? Well,
well, in a second, with
although, is it really ripping off if they're both from Universal?
true.
Oh, so there's no need for the boy now, apparently.
Yeah, so we can just kill him and get the bracelet.
Yeah, but we need the bracelet though.
So just chop his hand off.
Yeah, I was gonna say cut his arm off.
Pragmatic solution.
Yeah, if I were writing scripts, that's how I'd do it.
I
Not
mean,
in
I
a
thought,
movie,
I
but
thought,
still.
I honestly thought Star Wars should have set example. Maiming is an option in stories. You can have that.
If I were writing scripts, that's how I'd do them. But the problem with that maybe is that there'd be no movie, or it would end after
well,
half an hour.
well, Dweebs, a clever writer will find a way, to have that played that way and then go around it, demonstrating like it wasn't enough or something.
Maybe the character could wear like lightsaber-proof armor or something. I mean, why not?
Ooh,
You could. I mean, why not? Hyperspace is a weapon now, so what else can you do?
what could be there in the deep jungle that is about to menacing the
They
team?
can't harm me. I'm bold. No one would dare harm a bold person.
Boy. Hmm. Oh. Yeah, you're just setting up of a jump scare.
Oh god, I remember this part.
There you go. Just like in, Jurassic Park 2. Oh no, the thing that was totally gonna be a jump scare turned out to be a jump scare. Like, you don't even try a movie. Come on, man. Also, yeah, zombie tiny monkeys. I guess The Rock was very quirky when creating these Oasis.
Jamie doesn't act like The Rock in this, because what would he be telling them? You get your Rudy
It's
out of
it's
here.
another thing. It lives outside of a prologue. The Rock doesn't really talk. Yeah.
One of the most charismatic men ever, and he
To be
doesn't
to
speak.
be fair, that's what the entirety of the Scorpion King movie is for. At least the first one.
Yeah, the rest of them are like direct-to-DVD stock.
Not only that, yeah, not only that. I think they changed the starting with the second one. The main actor.
One of them had Batista in it.
Think so, yeah.
That's the thing. I'm quite thankful that he doesn't speak because considering, the kind of roles I'm used to seeing him have, it would be difficult to take him seriously with it. Just used to him being a goofball.
One of the movies actually apparently had Victor Webster as the Scorpion King, and apparently there was Ron Perlman in it as well. Tough.
I don't need guns. I'm Brandon Fraser. I can run. I want to be Tom Cruise.
Sorry, we're like at this point, like 16 years earlier.
Well, Tom Cruise is nearly 60 now, and he can still run.
He trained through his whole life, Dweebs. Alright, time to resolve the rivalry. Might as well.
And now, the Foo Fighters lead guy versus the other guy.
Killer Croc.
Yeah, Killer Croc. Never in my life would I have expected to see a fight between a DC character and the lead member of the Foo Fighters. But, lo and behold.
And again, to give credit, unlike in other stuff like, say, the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was a new line, at least the sword fighting choreography and even the fighting choreography in general is actually more spot on instead of just being up, up, down, down, up, you know. And dead.
Oh.
Of course, we need to get the fake shot. Hollywood, stop doing this.
You know, in that shot, he kind of looked like Peter Capaldi.
They continued the shot after he hit the ground.
What a great person. Jesus. That's... Kid, can you do another take on this?
Hmm?
Also, you two did not knew about the curse of a bracelet, seriously?
Worst parents ever.
I mean, more like clumsiest, because at least they care, I guess, but compared to other parents who are complete jackasses, but
Also, these
man.
remind me of the Pixies from Harry Potter.
But
Yeah,
they cannot fly, Shiri.
You say worst parents ever, but I mean, at least they don't physically and mentally abuse their children.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
there are worse parents, but like I said,
They're just oblivious.
the bad parenting here comes more in the form of clumsiness.
Right.
And the third in command also is dead.
They very much care about their kid.
Hmm.
That guy was dead.
You fool! Bleh.
It's clearly dynamite, man. Just no movie. Come on. That was a very stupid moment.
Ah. Hey guys, I'm still on the log. Oh shit!
I can see my house from here. So now, not even Dweebs, you wanted the Tom Cruise level of running. There you go. Now Brendan Fraser will have to basically run with his son until the very base of a pyramid
It's not
before the
one.
sun catches up.
It's not one long continuous shot of him running though, so
0 out of
impressed.
10.
Not impressed.
Not amused.
Nor is it Tom Cruise running and breaking his ankle, getting onto another building, and still managing to finish the take.
We. Ow. No shit.
No, he doesn't.
Some encouragement.
Oh, and the bracelet's off.
Well, yeah, it did its job. So yeah, now everything should be just smooth sailing, am I right? Oh, dead. I can't believe Rachel Weisz is fucking dead. There wasn't even any reason in particular. They could have killed both of them if they wanted. But no, she just kills her.
Is that why she's not in tune with the Dragon Emperor?
No, Dweebs, actually she is. She's just not played by Rachel Weisz.
She's remarkably calm.
It's called Hollywood Death. It's pretty and bloodless.
I mean, she looks like she's just out of breath and maybe like is having cramps.
I mean, Aerith's dead in Final Fantasy VII looked more convincing and that has 0 blood or injuries. Like,
Well, that's about to change soon-ish, I
we'll
think.
see. We'll see. Depend. Well, not just in terms of releasing Shiri, but in terms of cutscene direction, because that can still be completely fucked up. Remember, Lightning Returns.
But that was a long time ago, and I think what's his face is staying away from this project. So-
Hopefully.
And hey, Kingdom Hearts 3
yeah,
is out now. I
yeah.
know.
Also, gonna love this. Watch these waves. Apparently, the movie is about to have a shot almost as if it's about to end. Yeah, look at it. This looks like an ending shot. What the fuck?
And that
Yeah.
was the Mummy Returns.
Movie's
Roll
over,
credits.
but everyone's dead. Like, what the
Well-
fuck?
Oh wait, we still have 32 minutes left.
What?
That's how the credits are.
Oh, right.
Like, Stephen, buddy, what were you thinking when doing this?
Implying he was thinking.
And also, like, it's similar to what I said about the costumes and the weapon design. Also, I kind of like the set design, where they're not visibly fake as shit. Honestly, it looks appealing.
Like aesthetically, it looks.
Yeah, aesthetically.
Mhm. Oh.
Oh, geez. Not more bad CGI. Apparently, basically, The Rock wants to do a fair fight, so even if he's been stripped by his immortality powers.
Nope.
Oh yeah, it was Anubis.
He's
What a
taken
dick.
my powers.
He's having a bad day.
So are we just gonna leave her
My fellow
corpse up there,
my friends, we have come here today for the
mourning of Rachel Weisz?
his career.
Her.
Yeah, her career. Because what's she done after this? What's she done recently?
I think she did something. Let me check.
Was she in that Snowman film or something? That one with Michael Fassbender and...
I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, she was in Oz the Great and Powerful, but it was 2013. No?
Oh yeah, that.
She was in The Bourne Legacy.
The most forgettable Bourne movie.
The most recent movie that she did is one called The Favorite.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, her career's been pretty more miss than hit recently. It's weird because I still think she's a more recognizable face. When it comes to acting. Anyway, yeah, while this is going on, apparently Anubis has decided to unleash his army prematurely.
Stephen, I know you're trying to make it look like there's a shadow coming over the screen, but it looks like it looks like you're just tearing the film in half.
I blame more the editor, like I said.
But Stephen's the director.
Well, that's why there's the idea of what the scene is supposed to be, but the editor sucked at his job of creating it. But yeah, apparently Alex has had an epiphany and said, "Oh, let's just play God and revive her soul." I mean, it worked for an excellent move. Let's do it with her too. Yeah, he's another thing. The role of a curator is pretty much done at this point, so yeah. Jesus. Oh no, prop hand!
Yeah, that hand is so clearly a prop. But what happened actually?
Well, his hand got bitten by the scarabs thing in order to activate the Anubis army thing.
Funnily enough, Tio, in the Atmosphere Khufu game, the scarabs are what you use to win the game.
Yeah.
Or progress to winning the... Have you played Atmosphere
I forgot,
Khufu?
Waves. Which expansion is the one that has the fuck you card that basically said you declare the game is over?
Elizabeth Bathory.
Who made that?
A couple of cowboys.
Right's always right. And a good day to you, sir.
This way to the Scorpion King. Okay.
I think the hieroglyphic with the scorpion was an indication. Oh boy. That's still bad.
Grr, we are the CGI wolves. We're here to kill everyone.
Jackal, Waves, it's a jackal, it's different. You're not that versatile with animal differences.
I said what little I know of Egyptian mythology.
Waves, even without that, it's distinguishable, a wolf, a dog, and a jackal. Oh, Jesus, these effects. What the fuck is wrong with this?
No, they were filming, but the lights kept going out. Either that or someone was shining a light in Brandon Fraser's face.
That too.
Wake up, damn it, I'm ringing your gong.
Oh boy. Jesus. What the hell is that? I don't know.
Are they like the souls of the dead?
Yeah.
Well, those who haven't got to the afterlife.
Yeah.
I know that much. Mostly for pharaohs, when pharaohs die, they go to the afterlife.
Well, that depends, Leaves. Remember, there's the test of Anubis with the feather.
There's the test, and then they'd have to be mummified and put in the sarcophagus, and then put in their pyramid.
Well, no, I mean, technically, for the mythology in the afterlife, there's a test where Anubis basically pulls your heart out and then judges it. If it's lighter than a feather, you're worthy. Otherwise, you're given as meal to a monstrous beast.
Oh, so he's
No,
he's
that-
not
that's
going
the-
to give a rousing speech.
No, that's the one thing that Gods of Egypt actually fucked up with mythology. I don't understand why.
So he's not giving the rousing speech. He's just going full on attack.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm back.
All right.
Just in time. Oh, you're just in time, Pixie. You're about to actually see the Rock's entrance.
I remember it.
Although it'll make sense to you. I mean, honestly,
I'll find you straight in the camera.
if I were the enemy and if I were leader of an army and the enemy was just wasting time giving a speech, I'd just have my best archer kill him mid sentence.
Lives, that's kind of what happened. That's kind of what happens at the Battle of Helm's Deep in the Two Towers.
No, that was just the guy just getting impatient and killing one of them.
And they were technically doing their chanting, so.
But we shall conquer. Why has no one done that in the movie?
I think there have been some examples, but I can't remember which ones
And now
specifically.
for a CGI mega fight, which we can't afford to do, so we're cutting
Yeah.
it. Well, this was released in summer of 2001, so around this time they were releasing Jurassic Park.
I like
3.
how when he said, "Hurry up, Alex," she turned around to see, like to look.
And I still gotta love how Alex managed to drag the corpse of his mother up until that point.
And then on top of that, he didn't just hit her when she wasn't looking.
Yeah. Show off.
That's the oddest thing, though, where Universal released 2 big-budget blockbuster films within the same period of time. This and Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, Dave, it's not like a complete strange thing. Remember, like Disney right now is doing that all the goddamn time between its different properties.
Ha! Missed.
Also, Warner Bros. Too. Get
What I
it?
missed.
Because Shiro, you're just in time to witness The Rock's appearance.
Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
Rock, he was on-
get it? Because John had the same problem in the first movie. Funny.
Oh, and guys, bear in mind, The Rock was on the poster of the movie.
It's like Final Fantasy 13 too. Look at Lightning on the cover. Too bad you cannot play as her.
It's also like Godzilla.
That too. 2014.
Hi,
Yeah.
Shirley.
Hello.
Pixie saw that film with us, well, me and Pedro.
I did.
Godzilla.
Yeah, it's another one of the redo schedule.
Oh, that's
Tiff.
right.
The one where the title character just doesn't show up until
Like 15 minutes until the movie ends.
it's like Fantastic, where the villain doesn't show up until the last half an hour or something.
Which wouldn't be
In
so
that
bad
case,
if the
it's
rest
for
of
the better, Shiro.
The Godzilla thing wouldn't have been so bad if the rest of the movie were interesting, but it wasn't.
So, yeah, death is just a minor inconvenience at this point.
So even if Brandon Fraser's character died, all they have to do was go here and
Revive him. It's like the Vita Chambers in Bioshock.
it's turned into the MCU.
Oh boy, here we go, guys. Alright, you've been building up for this. The Rock in his majestic appearance. Feast your eyes upon this.
Scorpion King. Can
Hello?
you smell what the Rock
Is cooking.
is cooking?
Oh boy, here we go. And
Oh
no,
my
no,
God.
no.
Yes.
Horrible.
Even he looks like he feels very awkward about all this.
The face, Jesus Christ.
Yep, there it is. Just like
So-
they remember it.
So the Rock
It
is.
even looked this bad at the time.
It's literally one of the worst CGIs I've ever seen, and that includes, for example, the Langoliers.
Okay, you gotta give them credit though. It does look like his face.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
You can tell that it's based off of The Rock.
they did the video game
Guys,
thing.
guys, the Rock spoke. Three words. That's all we're gonna get out of the Rock. And bear in mind, this was not huge Hollywood megastar Rock yet.
Also, yeah, we need to resolve that. So, cat fight. Cat fight, yes. Jesus, this cutting
Although-
away.
Well, that's the funniest, that's the oddest thing though. Apparently Rachel Weisz is doing the stunts herself.
I guess she's good at doing that. Oh, you're still here.
Although
His
it's got
sound.
Like,
His I just lost my hand sound.
don't worry,
dead.
I've still got my hand. I'm using my real hand.
Wait,
to hold
he's
a
the one
prop
that lost
hand.
his hand, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's holding a prop hand. Yeah. Why?
I love when he's like,
Why?
what the fuck? Dead.
And yeah,
He's just like, why?
don't worry, guys. We can still find him. He's located there, and somewhere up here.
Yay, the guys have totally won.
No, they haven't. If they evaporated into sand and the Scorpion King's still alive, odds are they
No,
can just
no.
come back.
Not only that, like this would have been the mightiest army that conquered most of the world back then. Come on. What's with the vanity shot? Yeah.
For you. God help us. Was he? How did he say it? Allah something or other.
Yeah, I said he mentioned Allah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's Arabic, so.
But look at that, he's part of a prophecy. Just like we've been told, even though you don't really need that.
Can we please stop with
I
the
love how-
prophecy stuff?
I love how
Yeah,
he
the-
also had the time to like contemplate all of this, and like they're not attacking him or going after him or anything. They're just letting
Also-
him reach his epiphany.
Yeah, not only that, I also love how the geographic were basically telling in his face what he was supposed to do. It's something like the super hint in the later games. Like, use one, and when you get the super hint, that here's how you need to solve this deep shit.
Hello?
Also, like you're you're calling him over.
You are the dumbest loud person I've seen. Oh, it's the Rock. You are the dumbest, and the Rock means the dumbest loud son of a bitch he has ever seen.
Also, like I said, it's a good thing that Jonathan
Yeah,
managed
I'm
to
not very good
stumble
at
into
it,
that.
but I try.
It's a good thing that Jonathan managed to stumble into that scepter spear at the beginning of the movie.
Till death.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have an Ex Machina. Well,
He survived this.
oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, he has a name.
I just call him Brandon Fraser because, well,
Yeah,
that's
everybody
it.
does.
That's who he's playing. Let's be honest.
You may don't want to. Yeah.
Really, Osiris wasn't a word?
God, Don't do it so close, it looks worse.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure Jonathan will be able to do it. You're a British professional.
Yeah, the bar is a bit lower for us.
Nope.
Oh shit.
But I'm a South African, so fuck you. The army of Anubis shall now be mine.
Slow mo.
Why did she yell Rick's name? He's not even in the way. Oh, wait. They're not trying to kill him now?
Now remember, it's Brandon Fraser who has to kill him. Otherwise, if Imhotep kills him, he will assume the control of Anubis' army
Oh,
instead.
right.
Oh Jesus fuck!
His face.
Love Imhotep just gets into a scene to say no. And that's the Rock. Hope you enjoyed him.
Don't worry, we'll see him again in a year's time. And the film.
To be fair, though, this is kind of also depressing. Like when you see the Scorpion King movies, you ultimately know what his fate is and how shitty it ends up being.
But don't worry, guys. He'll be in a movie that's co-written by the same writing genius who gave us Stop or My Mum Will Shoot.
Oh no.
And David Hayter as well, I think.
Also, what about that movie that came out recently, Skyscraper?
I don't know, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, David Hayter was a writer on that film, on
Oh,
Scorpion
man.
King. Well, remember, Hayter's main career is as a writer. And one of the producers was Vince McMahon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Alright, if you played Mass Effect 3, specifically the Citadel DLC, you will find this scene very familiar, actually. Because not even kidding, that game, which is like 2012, actually copied this scene almost to a T for some reason.
Oh, wow.
Run.
But she loves him too much.
And I like how they're so close that they can just read each other's thoughts.
Yeah. Well, it's the expression that, conveys show, don't tell. This is also one of the reasons why I still enjoy this movie despite the shortcomings.
Tio?
Yes?
The last Scorpion King film came out barely a couple of months ago.
Yeah, direct to video. And instead, when it comes to Imhotep, Panax on the Moon just leaves him there. What a great love story.
You get to see what real love is, I guess.
At least I guess this is a good excuse on why Imhotep couldn't come back by the time of the movie Emperor Dragon, but I still find it a bit weak.
He's like,
alright.
Fuck
Fuck
this
Fine.
shit.
I'm out.
Well,
Maybe a bit dramatic, but
oh, and dead. Jesus.
And now she's dead.
Yep.
quick question.
Yes.
What were all of those beetles living on after all these years?
That's actually what I guess some of the pygmies.
That's what?
You know, one of the monkeys.
there goes the Oasis.
Hmm.
You know, it could at least be polite and not disappear entirely in a matter of seconds.
It also appeared in a matter of seconds, so that's fair.
True, I guess. So, how will our heroes get out of this one?
Wait 7 years for the sequel.
No. Only you can save them by providing enough box tops for the mummy cereal.
How did you manage to find your guess? Because the movie surely doesn't explain that.
Also, he had no room to lunch, so
Yeah, that too. It was in the middle of a tree, so.
and then good old Jonathan decides
Yeah,
something's a bit more important.
yeah, a gigantic diamond. Like,
No, it ain't.
They actually
Yeah.
let him. Also, what if it was like
booby trap, the two.
no, what if it was fused into the surface?
True, that too. Oh god, that terrible effect.
He might have lost his spine.
yeah, sure.
Adrenaline rush, I
Wait,
guess.
woo. I thought The Rock was supposed to be in the movie.
Go
not
team.
Not Ric Flair.
Yeah, he's gonna be hurting for a few days.
And this.
He's happy. He's got his diamond.
Wait. This is why there's no mummy film for 7 years. He was that beat up.
He needed a rest.
Not to worry, guys. We got the Scorpion.
How did he get out? Honestly,
No, remember he was with the other Magi fighting
that's
against
right.
the Anubis creatures.
Are we going to be doing the Scorpion King films before Tomb of the Dragon Emperor?
I think it's irrelevant at this point which one is tackled first. I mean, besides, we need to get to the Mummy 2017 so we can see the start of a dark universe. I cannot say that with a straight face.
We have to do at least Tomb of the Dragon Emperor beforehand, though, haven't we?
Yeah. Wah, wah.
He has no wife. Yep.
He has no waifu.
No waifu for laifu.
Yep.
That's sad.
And so.
Now, what if the twist is he has many waifus?
Oh, damn.
And so ends the tale of for now of Rachel Weisz and Brandon
And so
Fraser.
temporarily ends our tale.
Later,
Yes.
years later, the series will return with Rachel Weisz's character having undergone extensive plastic surgery.
Alright, there's no after credit scene, so final thoughts. Who wants to start?
I guess I'll go first then.
Go ahead, Vives.
Go ahead.
It was more entertaining to watch this one than the first time we tried doing this. But overall, though, I mean, there are times where it's kind of stupidly fun. But there are also times where it just kind of drags, which is weird because this one's only 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Brandon Fraser is his self. The other actors are doing pretty well. The Rock,
yeah,
he was only on screen properly for like 4 minutes.
The Rock was in this movie.
He was. He was, but only technically.
Yeah.
Dweebs is like that actor who did the Rhino for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was only in it for like.
Paul
Like
Giamatti did the Rhino?
Yeah, at the beginning and at the end.
Remember, that was supposed
But
to be the
anyway,
start of their cinematic universe, but well.
go ahead.
So yeah, overall, it's a real mixed bag, and considering from what I've heard of Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, this is probably the best the series is gonna get.
All right, Shiroi.
Aside from the extensive exposition, which I was surprised, I was surprised at, considering I see 2 hours as pretty long for a movie. So, it could have been a little shorter, honestly, because there
Mhm.
was quite a bit of exposition dumping throughout. But aside from that, it was actually pretty fun, considering that the movie itself is quite, dark with the
Mhm.
body horror and such. It wasn't too jarring though, and despite what you said, I don't think the kid actor was all that bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, as far as child actors go, he was pretty all right. The CG, well, obviously didn't
Yeah.
age well.
CG.
But you don't want me to even call it that. But no, this was fun. I remember this more than I do the first movie anyway. But I don't think I've seen any of the movies past this aside from maybe the reboot.
Okay.
Well, this
So
is
the
the
next
best
one will be
one.
pretty new to me. Sure. All right. Yeah, that's it from me.
Pixel.
Okay. So this was actually kind of like a family staple of mine. We watched it several times in the past, and every single time those scary scenes that I can't watch now came on, I would still cover my eyes or leave the room. Um, Other than that, I think it's, even though it's kind of silly and kind of bad in places, it's got its charm. Uh, I know that you guys talked about Brendan Fraser's acting, but I really don't think that he's that bad. He's definitely got, again, charm being the key word for this venture of ours. I think that it kind of earns its silly moments because of the tone that it sets up in the beginning and the way that the character, like the main character, I think his name was Rick,
Yeah.
himself portrays himself. I think that it's earned.
Mhm.
All
But
right.
yeah, Alex, the actor who played Alex, he wasn't bad at all, like Shiro said. And to add on to that further, he kind of reminds me of like James from James and the Giant Peach.
I can see that.
Mhm. Um,
And then a rhino ate Brandon Fraser up.
yes.
Well,
He
in this case, Rachel Weisz,
bubbled
so
him up.
Yeah.
that's why we need to change the actress. So.
The rhino being the internet. I think that's about it. I always kind of dread and look forward to watching The Mummy at the same time because of equal measures of body horror and being buried alive, and I don't like that stuff, but I think that the charm is what gets me through it, and the company that I spend it with when I watch it. That's
Mhm.
about all I have to say.
Pixie,
All right.
Pixie, when you say the imagery is scary, is it legitimately scary? Is it the CGI being so bad it scares you?
I guess a little of both.
All right, off you go.
All right, I'll
Off you go.
close it off then. I just like with the previous one. I also enjoyed this movie. It's cheesy, it's stupid, but it's a classic also for me because I don't know. It's just there's just something in it that's entertaining enough to me.
Yeah.
I think a good example that me arrived recently would be to me the Aquaman movie. Not in a one-to-one level because other instances like the CGI, I think it's better obviously in that movie compared to this one. But it's one of those cases where I think it's a movie that's just enjoyable. You don't have to think too much about it. Obviously, it hasn't aged well with this one. I mean, with the especially with the CGI. But even with the fast pacing, I also agree that it's a tad bit too long. Like 20 minutes shorter would have been fine, if you ask me. But it doesn't detract too much to it. Otherwise, I'm pretty much enjoying it. Also, like I said, Brendan Fraser, I have a soft spot for him, and I
Yeah.
think he did his job here. And like I said, just watch Scrubs. He means Scrubs is also a delight there.
If you want to take a sorry to
No, go ahead.
okay, but if you wanted to take a cliched route, you could say this movie aged about as well as emo.
I suppose, yeah. But yeah, I honestly enjoyed this one. Unfortunately cannot say the same with Tomb of the Emperor Dragon, but
To the Dragon Emperor.
we'll get to the Dragon Emperor. But that's when the next step of our journey will take there. So see you for that, I suppose.
Yeah, fuck Egypt. We're going to ancient China.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.